When Marr Chase exploded onto the NFL scene in 2021, it didn't take long for the league to realize the Cincinnati Bengals had landed something special. A human highlight reel with vice-grip hands, blistering speed, and a knack for turning routine plays into touchdowns. As Joe Burrow's go-to weapon, he racked up 1,455 receiving yards as a rookie, breaking records, defying expectations, and helping propel the Bengals to a Super Bowl appearance. Whether you're a die-hard Bengals fan or a neutral observer, one thing is undeniable. Chase is special. The question is, just how special is the wide receiver? Marr Chase was born on March 1st, 2000 in Harvey, Louisiana, a town just outside of New Orleans, where football wasn't just a game, it was a way of life. Raised by his parents, Jimmy and Tolea Chase, Marr was immersed in the sport from a young age, with his father playing a key role in developing his competitive mindset. Even as a kid, his speed, agility, and natural athleticism set him apart, making it clear he was destined for something special. His parents instilled in him a relentless work ethic, pushing him to be not just good, but great. That drive led him to Archbishop Rummel High School, where he quickly became a standout receiver, dominating defenses and catching the attention of college scouts across the country. But before he was a record-breaking NFL star, he was just a kid with a dream, of football, and parents who made sure he had every opportunity to succeed. Chase's college recruitment was nothing short of a whirlwind. As a star receiver at Archbishop Rummel High School in Louisiana, his elite speed, precise route running, and knack for making big plays had college scouts buzzing. By his junior year, Chase had racked up offers from powerhouse programs like LSU, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia. Initially, he committed to Kansas in 2017, a decision that surprised many. However, it wasn't long before he reconsidered, decommitting and reopening his recruitment to explore bigger opportunities. The battle for his signature intensified, with schools pitching him as their future #1 receiver. In the end, LSU won out, keeping the homegrown talent in Louisiana. That decision would prove to be historic, not just for Chase, but for college football. Chase's freshman year at LSU in 2018 was a glimpse of what was to come, even if the full explosion hadn't happened yet. As a true freshman, he entered a crowded wide receiver room, but quickly proved he belonged. In just his second game, he recorded his first career touchdown against Southeastern Louisiana, a sign of the big playability that would soon define his career. Though he wasn't yet the go-to target, Chase showed flashes of brilliance, finishing the season with 23 catches for 313 yards and 3 touchdowns. One of his standout performances came in LSU's Fiesta Bowl victory over UCF, where he hauled in 6 catches for 93 yards, helping the Tigers secure a 40-32 win. That game set the stage for what was coming next. As a sophomore at LSU, he emerged as the most dominant wide receiver in college football, forming an unstoppable connection with quarterback Joe Burrow. From the very start of the season, Chase made it clear he was a force to be reckoned with, racking up 147 yards and a touchdown against Texas in Week 2. But that was just the beginning. Chase torched defenses all year, finishing the season with 84 catches for 1,780 yards and 20 touchdowns. He had multiple monster performances, including a ridiculous 229-yard, 4-touchdown explosion against Vanderbilt and a 197-yard, 2-touchdown game against Ole Miss. When the lights were brightest, Chase delivered a 221-yard, 2-touchdown performance in the College Football Playoff National Championship against Clemson, helping LSU complete a perfect 15-0 season. His efforts earned him the Biletnikoff Award as the nation's best wide receiver, cementing his place in college football history. Marr Chase entered the 2021 NFL draft process with sky-high expectations after his record-breaking 2019 season at LSU, but faced questions after opting out of the 2020 campaign. At the Combine, the 6-foot, 201-pound receiver silenced doubters with a blazing 4.38-second 40-yard dash and explosive testing numbers that had analysts raving. ESPN's Mel Kiper called Chase the most pro-ready receiver he has evaluated since A.J. Green, while NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah noted his rare combination of elite ball skills and polished route running that you just don't see in college prospects. With everything on the line, the Cincinnati Bengals stunned some observers by selecting Chase 5th overall over offensive line help for franchise QB Joe Burrow, a decision that drew immediate scrutiny. Fox Sports' Colin Cowherd criticized the pick at the time with the words, "You don't take a receiver when your quarterback just had his knee rebuilt." It was clear that despite being one of the top prospects in the state, there were a lot of doubters who believed the Bengals made the wrong decision. However, Chase was about to show the whole world why rational decisions don't always play out the way we think. Marr Chase entered the NFL with sky-high expectations after dominating at LSU and posting elite combine numbers, but even his staunchest supporters couldn't have predicted his immediate impact. After a quiet preseason that briefly fueled doubt, Chase silenced critics in his Week 1 debut, torching the Minnesota Vikings for 102 yards and a game-winning touchdown in overtime. He followed that with 3 more scores over his next 2 games, becoming the youngest player in NFL history to record 4 touchdown catches in his first 3 contests, a performance that earned him NFL Rookie of the Month honors. Analysts like ESPN's Dan Orlovsky raved, "Chase isn't just living up to the hype, he's rewriting the rookie receiver playbook." His breakout continued with a 159-yard explosion against Green Bay, highlighted by a 70-yard touchdown and a franchise record 201-yard demolition of Baltimore in Week 7. By mid-season, Chase had shattered the NFL record for most receiving yards through 7 games, leaving even skeptics like Fox's Colin Cowherd to admit the Bengals didn't just draft a receiver, they drafted an offensive revolution. His historic campaign culminated in a Pro Bowl selection, cementing his status as the NFL's next superstar and validating Cincinnati's decision to reunite him with Joe Burrow. As NBC's Chris Collinsworth put it, Chase didn't just meet expectations, he blew right past them and kept going. His Week 17 masterpiece against Kansas City was a jaw-dropping 266-yard, 3-touchdown eruption, which set NFL rookie records. Chase's regular season totals earned him a clean sweep of every major Rookie of the Year award. But the former LSU star was just warming up. When the playoffs arrived, Chase elevated his game further. His 116-yard wildcard performance snapped Cincinnati's 32-year playoff drought. Still, Chase's 89-yard performance on the biggest stage wasn't enough to secure Super Bowl 56. At the end of the day, Chase's unprecedented rookie campaign earned him the number. 24th spot in the NFL, top 100 voted by peers. Marr Chase entered his second NFL season with sky-high expectations and promptly proved his rookie campaign was no fluke. He kicked things off in Week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, putting up 10 catches for 129 yards, including a game-tying touchdown with 0 seconds left on the clock. The Bengals fell short in overtime, but Chase had already made his mark. Fast forward to Week 6, and Chase was on fire against the New Orleans Saints. 7 receptions, 132 yards, and 2 massive second-half touchdowns fueled a 30-26 comeback victory. But it came at a cost. He suffered a hairline hip fracture on a tackle in the end zone. Most players would have sat out immediately, but Chase suited up the very next week, torching the Falcons with 130 yards and 2 more touchdowns before aggravating the injury and being sidelined for 5 weeks. When he returned in Week 13, he picked up right where he left off, posting 97 yards against the Chiefs and then dropping a 10-catch, 109-yard, 1 TD performance against the Browns. Despite missing 4 games, Chase still led the Bengals in receptions and receiving yards and earned his second straight Pro Bowl selection. In the playoffs, he kept delivering, leading all receivers in the Bengals wild card, went over the Ravens, and adding another touchdown against Buffalo in the divisional round. His elite play earned him the 39th spot on the NFL Top 100 Players of 2023, proving once again that when Chase is on the field, he's a game changer. Chase's 2023 season was a roller coaster of highs, records, and battling through injuries. But through it all, he proved once again why he's one of the best in the game. It wasn't the hottest start, as Chase managed just 70 yards on 10 catches in the Bengals' first two losses to the Browns and Ravens. But in Week 3 on Monday Night Football, he made a statement, hauling in 12 receptions for 141 yards to lead Cincinnati to a 19-16 win over the Rams. Then came Week 4 against the Titans. Frustrated with his limited opportunities, Chase went viral in a post-game interview declaring, "I'm open, I'm always friggin' open." And he backed it up in Week 5 against Arizona with a monster performance of 192 yards, 15 catches, and 3 touchdowns, breaking a Bengals franchise record for receptions in a game. That earned him AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. He stayed hot with a 100-yard, 1-touchdown game in Week 8 against the 49ers, but injuries started creeping in. He hurt his back in Week 9, but still put up 124 yards and a touchdown against Houston in Week 10. Then in Week 13, he exploded again with 149 yards and a 76-yard touchdown bomb in a clutch overtime win against Jacksonville. That game also pushed him over 1,000 yards for the season for the third straight year. But the injury bug struck again in Week 15 as a sprained AC joint sidelined him in Week 16. But despite missing time, Chase still finished the season with 100 catches, 1,216 yards, and 7 touchdowns. With the 2024 season on the horizon, Chase had to contend with contract drama as the Bengals picked up his 5th-year option, but Chase held out during training camp, pushing for an extension. The deal never came, but once the season kicked off, he let his play do the talking. In Week 3, he found the end zone for the first time that season, lighting up the Washington Commanders with 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. But that was just the warm-up. In Week 5, Chase torched the Ravens with 10 catches, 193 yards, and 2 touchdowns, even though the Bengals fell just short, 41-38. Then came Week 10, where Chase made history. He erupted for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns against Baltimore, becoming the first player ever to record multiple games with 250-plus yards and 2-plus touchdowns. The dominance continued in Week 14 against the Cowboys, where Chase put up 14 catches, 177 yards, and 2 touchdowns, earning AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. When the dust settled, Chase stood alone at the top, leading the entire NFL with 127 receptions, 1,708 receiving yards, and 17 touchdowns, making him the 2024 Triple Crown winner. How good is Marr Chase? Really, but when you stack up Marr Chase's number against the competition, it becomes very clear just how special he is as a wide receiver. You don't need to be a genius to see that he is definitely special. And the only blemish on his stellar NFL career is his injury situation. But that isn't something unique to him. Being a young talent, we see him putting it in the past and cementing his place in the NFL with more heroics. And the Bengals definitely believe in him. How does Marr compare to your list of wide receivers in the league? Let us know in the comments below. Peace out.